Hey, what's up, fellow anglers? It's Aaron LeSieur here, and I'm out on kind of a different lake today. A lake that I live really close to and I drive by all the time. I've mountain biked around this area. I've been down to Old Town and partied it up, have some dinner, a few drinks, some beers out there, great places to eat. It's Lake Natoma. Now, this lake stretches from Folsom Dam and then all the way down to Natomas, where there's another dam over there, and the CSUS Aquatic Center. And it creates this lake in here that you'll see gets used quite a bit. There's going to be paddle boarders, kayakers, there'll be people mountain biking or riding on the paved trails around this area. And I wanted to come out here and fish it because I rarely see any boats out here, and what I've read on Western Bass and some of the other forums or anything about this lake is that it fishes really tough. So I wanted to come out, check it out, since it's a place I've never been, and it's the fall bite. This water here is definitely a lot cooler than you're gonna find at Folsom, because the water comes from the very bottom of Folsom Lake, where it's gonna obviously be colder. And now this whole area is really beautiful. If you've never been out here, you've got the Rainbow Bridge over here, and then the other Folsom Auburn Road Bridge, and it's right next to downtown Old Folsom, where there's lots of good places to eat, lots of good nightlife, and you've got Folsom Prison just up the way, where you don't want to be unless you're visiting somebody, which you still don't want to be there. And like I said, it goes all the way down to the Aquatic Center, so you've got a lot of areas to fish out here, and I'm sure there's spotted bass. I've heard there's some smallmouth and some largemouth. I'm going to find out. Now, I came out here a few days ago. I was doing a photo shoot for Bass Angler magazine. I got an article coming out in there, and I brought Trisha out, and we came out here, and within the first 10 minutes I caught a nice one. So I don't know how hard it's going to be. Did I get lucky? Maybe. I caught it up here by the powerhouse. I'm going to break this lake down over a couple days, and I'm going to kind of just today I'm going to kind of stay between the bridge, well, just a little bit down south of, actually I guess it would be considered west of the Folsom Auburn Bridge right here, and I'm going to work my way back up towards the prison. I think there's a place, an area up there where you can't go past because of the prison up there, which I don't want to go that far anyway. So I'm going to kind of break down the lake, try to find some spots, and I'm going to do the show a little bit different this time. You're going to see a little bit different format to try to keep you all interested from the start to the finish. So I'm going to stop talking because I'm going to start fishing. I brought all the fall style baits out here today. I've got a jerk bait, I've got drop shot, I've got a tube, I've got a Ned rig, I got an A-rig, I got a crankbait. Typical fall bite baits, and I don't know if these fish are going to be deep. This lake doesn't seem to be very deep in some of the areas I've already seen so far, except kind of over by the bridge where the current is kind of ripping through there. And that's the other thing, before I stop talking, there's a lot of current in this lake, or it is a lake, and so we're going to be looking for current-oriented fish, at least in the beginning. That's going to kind of be how I break it down. But we're going to talk about that more. So now I'm really going to stop talking, and we're going to start fishing. Let's see if we can catch some good ones. All right, check it out. Okay, I'm gonna give you a quick midday update on what's going on. Nothing. I basically fished from where I launched. I went down on the right side. There's a couple fallen trees, threw Senkos, some top water, cranked, rip baits. Nothing. Then I went to the other side, and there's some current, there's some weeds over there too. I fished all the way back up to the Folsom Auburn Bridge right here, and I fished all the bridge pilings, throwing Ned rigs and Senkos, and then I came back out to the Rainbow Bridge here, and there's all these rocks everywhere and lots of current breaks. So I'm fishing it just like you would the Delta or any other river where these fish are gonna get positioned behind those current breaks. And I caught nothing, not even a bump. I fished Senkos in the breaks, little paddle tail swim baits, and an A-rig, a rip bait. I went about a quarter mile past the bridge and nice steep banks right there, nothing. So far, that one fish I caught over here by the powerhouse the other day might have been a little lucky. So I'm gonna start heading down towards the other dam. I looked on Google Earth and saw that there's some like little backwater areas, bunch of trees, some shade. I'm gonna go try down there and see if I can't put something else together out here, because it's beautiful. I mean, I've had a good time fishing up here because it is absolutely gorgeous. The trees are turning, you got the bridge, you got the rocks, and I mean, the terrain out here is awesome. So even though I didn't catch anything, it was still a really enjoyable morning out here fishing it. So I'm gonna head down there and hopefully I'm gonna get some fish catches on video and some areas for you guys. Let's go check it out. Hey, what's up, fellow anglers? It's day 2 out here on Lake Natoma, and you didn't see any fish catches before day 2 because there were none. I completely blanked. And I think I may have missed this bite out here by maybe about a month. I don't know. I fished about half the lake. I was up a little bit past Rainbow Bridge, came all the way down here to Willow Glen, which I'm at today, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And I fished a bunch of good stuff. I fished some steep banks, some islands, big boulders with eddies and where the current was breaking around them, high percentage areas. And I did not, number one, I think I saw a couple of arches on that riprap steep bank that I'm gonna check at least either today or if I come out here on a day 3. But I didn't see any bait. I didn't see a whole lot of schooled up fish. And so I'm gonna fish the other half of this lake to see if I can get on something. I don't know if I've missed a bite out here or I'm just missing something in general. Now I'm gonna give you a couple pieces of information about Lake Natoma. I wouldn't recommend, unless you have the appropriate equipment, to launch over at Negro Bar because they don't have a dock like Willow Glen does over here, and I had to beach my boat and get a little wet getting back into the boat when I launched it over there. So it was kind of a pain in the butt. I do have a keel guard and I have the power poles, so those were super helpful because there is current that goes across there. Now Willow Glen does have a dock. You come off of Folsom Boulevard right here. You can only get it going, I guess it would be southbound towards Highway 50 because you can't get it from the other side. So that's one piece of information. The other one, I think I told you, it's 5 miles an hour on this entire lake, except when you get down towards the aquatic center. There's a cutoff where you can't use your big motor at all. You can only use your trolling motor. I'll put that up on Google Earth so you can see exactly where it is. The ranger told me where it was, so I can show you the location. So I'm gonna try to head down over there if I can make it down there today. I'm gonna put about 4 or 5 hours on the water today. So if I don't get to that area, I'll get to it on day 3 because I do want to put something together. I know there's fish out here. I know guys have caught them. I've seen them. I've talked to the guys who have caught them. And this place looks really bassy. So I'm going to try to put something together. Hopefully there'll be some fish catches. Otherwise, this is going to be one really boring show. I'm all coffeeed up. I've got my gear. I've almost used every rod on the deck that I brought on day 1. A couple things I'm going to utilize today is a tube and a drop shot, which I didn't use, but I used pretty much everything else. I'm gonna start talking, I'm gonna start fishing. Hopefully I can put something together. Let's find out. Oh, I can't believe I just video gamed that fish right there. I finally caught one in Lake Natoma. Oh, and it feels like a pretty good one too. Oh. There's my drag better. It's pulling some pretty good drag. This could be a decent one. I fished a bunch of areas from Willow Glen to here. Now I'm by the freeway in this little backwater area under the bridge, and I'm out here deep. Oh, that's a really good one. Whoo. Oh crap, get in here, get in here, get in here. No. Oh shit. I saw him on the graph and I just threw my drop shot right down on his head. Oh, this is like a 4-pounder easy. Oh, yes. Oh my gosh, you know how long I've been fishing out here? I almost called it quits and said, man, there's no fish in here. Look at that one. Boom. Yes. On a little drop shot. I'm back in this cove and cruising around. There's a bunch of grass back here and it's deep out here, and I see these arches, finally see some arches. I back up on my graph. I'll see if I can get a screenshot of it. I threw it straight down, and as soon as it went in front of it, boom. Yes. Yeah. So I'm about to take off and head back to the ramp, but I wanted to tell you guys what I'm doing in this little cove right here before I take off. I'm gonna fish for about 10 more minutes and then I'm gonna go. You're gonna hear, so I'm right next to the freeway, so it's gonna be kind of loud. You're gonna hear these cars, but basically I'm just video game. That big one I just caught, I video gamed it. Saw it on the graph, dropped my drop shot straight down in front of it and it ate it. I'm gonna come back out here and fish some more of this backwater. There's more up towards the aquatic center, but all this is about a 12-inch drop on a 1/4 ounce drop shot teardrop weight. This is the Demiki Viper 1/0 drop shot hook, and I've got this is a Kitech. It's the Silver Flash Minnow 3.8, and it's just on there. I'll show you try to get a little closer so you can see the color if I can get it in the frame there. And it's just on my Dobbins rod. It's the Fury Series, the 703 SF FR. Actually, the FR is in front of it. But that's all I'm doing, just dropping it straight down. This is 10 pound, I got about a 4 or 5 foot leader on this. 10 pound P-line fluorocarbon. So I'm gonna fish for 10 more minutes, and then if I don't catch anything, you're gonna see me day 3 because I'm gonna come back out. I've only fished about half this lake, so I gotta fish a lot more of this thing. Uh-oh, we're hooked up, people. Oh, it's a giant too. Holy smokes. Whew. Every time I'm catching a largemouth out here, it's a freaking giant. I thought I got hooked up on the rocks. This thing is like another 4-pounder. Oh, he's got me in the weeds though. Okay, he's up, he's up, he's up. It's another big one. Another big one. Oh yeah, just like that other one I caught in that cove. I'm fishing this little flat on this outside edge of these weeds. There's this big weed bed right here. Oh, that's another good one right there. Look at that guy. He's not 4, but that's 2.5, maybe 3. He's probably closer to 3. Just throwing that little Kitech. My bait's gone. Throwing that little Kitech around. There's a flat right here. I'm finding a lot of weed beds on this lake, and I'm thinking at certain times of the year these weed beds are really going to produce some bites because there's not that much stuff in this lake for these largemouth to hide in. They've only got a few select areas that they can go and hide. So I'm finding all these hydrilla. I don't even think that's hydrilla. Already threw it overboard. Big weed beds, and so I'm trying to stay in like a deeper zone, and that was about 10 feet. So I'm trying to hit these outside edges where these winter-ish, because we're not in winter yet, but we've got 63 degrees water temperature. And on that outside edge, I just threw it in there. He actually ate it on the fall. I lifted up and then my rod just wop, wop, wop. That was awesome. So I'm gonna keep fishing this flat a little bit. It goes kind of around, and I'm making my way to the aquatic center. I'm coming out here multiple days. The conditions are all pretty similar. I'm just coming out here multiple days to try to fish every high percentage area on this lake so I can show you guys everywhere you can come fish and cut down on your fishing time. So I had to take a picture of this one. Boom. There's another one. It feels little though, but it's in this weed bed over here. Basically, I've only gone about 200 yards from where I just caught that big one. That's the smallest one I've caught so far. And I'm pitching, I'm looking for these weed beds, finding a pattern here. I'm looking in these weed beds from 6 to 10 feet, and I'm basically flipping a drop shot. It's not even weedless. It comes with the weeds really, really well. About a 16-inch drop on there, the same one I caught that big one over in the cove, which is directly across from right here. That's a dink. But it bit it in the same kind of stuff that I've been concentrating on, which is I've noticed that this is the only place they have to hide is in this little weed. It's like a weed, I don't know if I want to say patch, but it runs pretty much along this entire side over here. The other side's a lot deeper, so you don't, at least until you get to that cove, because I haven't gone and ventured out that way yet towards the aquatic complex. But on this side, it seems to be a little flatter, so there's a lot of these weeds. I'm just pitching this thing around, just kind of like basically flipping. A little guy ate at that time, so at least I'm still catching them, and I'm putting together the pieces out here of a pattern. So I'm gonna keep flipping and working my way down till it gets dark, and then I'm gonna come back out and keep going until I get to the aquatic center and make my way back. And I think I've fished almost every area out here when that happens. So I'm gonna get back to it. Oh, there's another one. Oh yeah. Also another little guy though. But again, on this stretch, I'm not gonna put a waypoint down because I'm only like 300 yards from where I was a second ago. Now, if I keep going down this stretch and keep catching them, I'll just throw a waypoint down on the edge. Hey, made me lose my bait. Right on the edge, or at the end of where these weeds stop, but they just keep going. And I'm just continuing, you can see them. The water clarity out here is ridiculous. It's like 4 feet. There's a little bit of wind breeze today, so it does give me a little opportunity to put some chop on the water, so it makes it a little easier to fish and for these fish not to see me. But that's another dink. But that's 3, which is way more than I've been catching per day. I think this is like maybe the 3rd day I've been out here. 1, 2, 3, this is 4th day. So let me throw a bait on, let's see if we can keep doing this and keep making our way down here. And this weed bed comes way out on this one. And it seems to be that some of the smaller ones are up shallow and some of the bigger ones are probably going to be on this outside edge. So I'm going to keep flipping and see if I can't catch another big one today. There we go. Oh, that's a nice one right there. I'm not feeling these bites at all. These big fish are just grabbing it on the fall, which is awesome about this specific bait, using a Kitech, because as it falls, that tail gives a really, really awesome kick. And so a lot of these fish, these big ones, are eating it on the fall, and I'm never even feeling them pick it up. This isn't a giant, but I mean, it's a solid fish. I just caught those 2 dinks. This one's about a 2-pounder. I had it for a while because I saw my line moving, so I know it's gonna be in its gullet. Yep, I'm gonna have to get this one out. But another solid fish. I figured these little guys out. I'm still, from when I caught that first one, I'm about 800, 900, 1,000 yards away from that spot. I'm finally seeing also fish on my graph, some arches right on the outside of this weed edge. It's 10 feet. I'm just covering water. I'm making as many flips as I can with this drop shot. I got to get it out of his gullet. And I got it locked in. Ooh, there's fish right underneath my boat right now. We're going to come back and try to get some of these. Oh, it's a good one right there. Oh yeah. Oh, get back over here. Oh man, it's pulling good. I got this one on the Ned rig right here. Oh, shiza. Dang it. Well, that was like a 3-pounder that just came unbuttoned. I'm running that same pattern I did, which was the previous day. And there's no wind today, and it's actually pretty hot. So I went and tried some other areas just a little further up the river that had the grass, same kind of stuff I was fishing that you saw in the previous segment. And so I decided I'm gonna start heading down towards the aquatic center and see what I can find down there, because I haven't been down there yet. And I'm just going across this steep bank that you'll see. And there's a little point that comes out, and there's a lay down tree right here that I'll show you. And I was just casting this Ned rig out, and that big bass ate it on the fall. It was like 3 pounds. Came right up out of the water and then just threw it. So I'm gonna do a little more fishing along this bank right here, because it's got this steep drop off and it's in the shade. There's some lay down trees, and maybe get something going on this side of the lake, since I've really been focusing on that side of the lake. So we're gonna find out. Let's see what I can do. All right, there's one right there. It's a good one. I'm on this, oh my gosh, it's a big one. Really big one. I'm on this edge right here of this steep bank, and I just threw a Ned rig down there, and it's a really big one. Stay on there, stay on there, stay on there, stay on there. Oh, I don't know if it's a spot or if it's a largemouth. All I've been catching are largies. Whoa, my gosh, it's a big one. Really, really big one. Stay on, stay on. Oh, it looks like a spotted bass. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, this is a giant. It's fighting hard too. I'm gonna swing it in. Oh, get in here. Look at that spot right there. That is a nice one. That one's like 2.5 pounds. Holy smoke. So basically, all I did was, I was way down at Willow Glen, and I launched over there, and I started fishing all these weeds, and I wanted to make my way back up to this steep bank area, because I remember on one of the previous days, it might have been the first or the second, I said, I want to come back here. I saw some arches over here. So I made my way back up here. I didn't catch anything. First cast, right on this edge, this thing is 16 feet over here, and these big, large, chunky rocks all through here. And first cast, actually I think that's a spotted bass, all right. It's a nice one too, yes. I'm gonna keep going down this bank here. There's a bunch more chunky rock. And I've got this, it's just a Ned rig. Let's see, right there. And it's just a shad pattern, a 1/6 ounce Z-Man Ned rig, 15-pound P-line braid on there. Tossed it out, he ate it on the fall. Yeah, buddy. Hey, what's up? I'm wrapping up the Natoma Lake sessions out here. I think I was out here about 6 or 7 times. Caught fish at almost every single session. And really what was working was the drop shot and the Ned rig. One thing to note out here, the wind's picked up a little bit, and the water and the air temperatures are starting to cool down. You gotta have some wind out here. I found that when the wind isn't blowing, whew, this water's so clear, really tough to catch fish out here. Now I caught one more out here today, and what really was the key are the weeds for the largemouth and the rocks for the spotted bass. And I've got some areas that I put together out here, 4 or 5 that you guys saw in the video, where you can go out and try to catch some fish and repeat this on your own. Now you're gonna wanna stay tuned to the end of the video, because what I've done is I've taken Google Earth, broken this lake up into 3 areas, and I've marked all the high percentage areas for you. This lake isn't very big, So I went and fished a lot of areas, looked around. You're gonna get the areas that have got the spawning flats, the laydown wood, the weed flats, any islands. Now these areas may not produce now, but they could produce at different times of the year. At least you're gonna kind of have an idea of where to go and what are in those specific areas throughout the lake to help cut down on your fishing time. I hope all the info helped, and it's gonna help you come out here and catch some fish. This lake is not easy to fish, I'll tell you what. The one day I had about 4 bites, that was a pretty good day. I'm pretty much getting about 1 or 2 every time I come out here. So if you like the video, always like it here on the YouTube channel. Subscribe if you already aren't. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and Facebook so you're getting updates on the new lakes that I'm going to, because the winter's coming and I'm gonna mix it up. I'm gonna be going up to Bullards. I'm gonna hit Oroville. After that, I'm not sure, depends on the weather, depends on my work schedule, but there'll be more coming, I promise you that. I'll probably get back out to Folsom again, try to see if I can put an A-rig and jig video together. All right, until next time, stay focused, fish hard, and I'll see you out on the water.